weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions.
$75 million, an average of $55 million. Hey, look.
Jeff Sabiata, JJ Beck. You good back there?
Welcome back. Evidently not. It's like, damn, what did I come back to? The board's crazy. JJ's back in today. Good to have him back. We're open for business for you with a busy guest list on a Friday. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. Area code 505-246-0610. That's how to get here today. Emails and text and phone line. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. U.S. Open is underway. You got the guys who were in the afternoon yesterday. That McIlroy, Scheffler, Schauffele group is out. And Rory McIlroy, who was one of your overnight co-leaders, is given one back today. So Patrick Cantlay, who will go out at 11:25 our time today, is your leader. Rory McIlroy, one over today through 4. He is one stroke back at -4 with Ludwig Oberg, and then Matthew Pavon -3, and that group at -2 with Tony Finau and Bryson DeChambeau. And I'll keep you up to date on that as we go through the day. All right, Jacksonville gives Trevor Lawrence a deal. 5 years, $275. He's the fourth quarterback to make, JJ, and the number you always tell me about is the guaranteed number, $200 million guaranteed. So he's the fourth guy to make 200 or more guaranteed. That joins Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow, and Justin Herbert. He gets, this is insane. I don't even know what the check looks like. And after taxes, so if you figure, I don't know, if they take, let's just say 37% plus whatever state you're in, so $142 million at signing times 0.63. So he'll get a check for almost $90 million when he signs his name. I mean,
good living.
That's pretty good, right? Average salary annually $55 million per year. That ties Joe Burrow for the biggest per year salary in the league. He's in his fourth year. He had a fifth-year option coming up set for 25.7. I guess this is what you had to do. You're Jacksonville. You believe you have a franchise quarterback. When he came out, he was the best thing since Andrew Luck, right? In regards to quarterbacks coming out of college?
He was regarded as that, and it was someone we were looking at for since his freshman season or when he got on the field at Clemson, just waiting for him to become draft eligible.
And he had a down year last year, and he was injured, and he was down a little last year. But this is where we are. Jaguars also gave Josh Allen, not the quarterback, their Josh Allen, $150 million over 5 years in April. That made him the first $100 million player in franchise history. But of course, this now tops that is $200 million. What did he do last year? Like, wow, okay. You know, for those of you you're thinking, well, Trevor Lawrence. If I told you, wow, he must. I mean, he's Patrick Mahomes. Well, I mean, no, he led the NFL in giveaways last year. He had 21 giveaways. They were 0-5 in his last 5 starts. They didn't make the playoffs. He's finished with 20-plus giveaways in 2 of his 3 seasons. His 21 fumbles, JJ, lost fumbles, are tied with Tony Banks. Yeah, okay. For the most by a player in his first 3 seasons in NFL history. He has more fumbles lost than any other player in the past 3 years. But despite all that, he's the 5th in quarterback wins in the history of the franchise. Now, take that for what it's worth. Because the franchise is young and not rich in quarterbacks. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're Dak, you got to be going, I mean, you don't even have to hold on to the ball and win games to get a $200 million quarterback.
Well, it's more than that. Like, you look at Trevor Lawrence, do you believe that this guy could lead a team to an AFC championship game?
Do I?
Like, is he?
Yeah, I do.
Is he more talented?
I do.
Than the Daniel Jones, Geno Smiths, even Baker Mayfields of the world. Like, does he have a higher ceiling than those quarterbacks that have come in under him, contract-wise?
Okay.
And so you're betting on the future. Because if you take away the Urban Meyer season, he's one game above 500. And so can they, now that they have Trevor Lawrence locked in, become what we think Trevor Lawrence can be? And that is a quarterback that's competing with the top of the AFC. Or the question is, do you think he can be that quarterback?
You know, I think I do. And he was the hot pick going into last year. Well, here's the guy who's going to come up and be, an MVP candidate. How do you explain this? How do you explain them going 0-5 down the stretch? How do you explain him leading the league in giveaways? I mean, it's because I think you're right. And then you just break the bank and reset the market for a guy who didn't make the playoffs last year. Yeah, he did win a playoff game the year before. He beat Justin Herbert when they were down 27-0. And I know every contract's got to be the biggest, which I've always had a problem with. But I want to commit to him long term. I do. I absolutely want to commit to him long term. I just, to break the bank, I guess that's just the way it's got to be, right? It's got to be, the next one's got to be the biggest.
It's the way you negotiate. You don't have, like, Tua is not going to get the highest contract ever just because he's waited.
But because you think he doesn't have the upside that this guy does, right?
And if these franchises don't have to do this if they don't want to.
Somebody else will.
Okay, but if you don't believe he's that good, let someone else handcuff themselves.
Yeah. Highest paid contracts right now, quarterback contract. It's crazy. I'm looking at the top 5, and you know who's glaringly not there? The best quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, 5 for 275. Joe Burrow, 5 for 275. Average per, this is, so the contract, this is without the guarantee. And the average per year is $55 million. Jared Goff, 4 for 212, the average $53 million. Justin Herbert, 4 at 262, he's averaging $52.5 million. And Lamar Jackson just signed 4 for 260 at $50. So there you go. I mean, you got a new guy. I think it's wonderful that the guy's getting paid. I do. I think it's wonderful. And evidently the money's there. So keep doing what you're doing. 505-246-0610. So much to do today. Let me give you a guest list. We're going to talk college football coming up at 8 o'clock. Nick Carparelli is the executive director of Bowl Season, formerly known as the Football Bowl Association. Kind of works with, doesn't oversee all the bowls, but he oversees the association and is actively involved with all the conferences. And so just get an overview. Now the schedule is out and where college football bowls are in his regard, in the landscape of college athletics and more so the college football postseason with the playoffs starting this year at 12 games. We'll talk with Nick coming up at 8 o'clock, 8:30 Nick Nee, so it'll be the Nick Hour. Nick Nee's going to be in. We'll get a golf tip and, of course, talk about the U.S. Open, which is going on right now at Pinehurst. And then at 9 o'clock, Kenny Thomas will be in here. We'll kick it with Kenny and talk about, is tonight the final game of the NBA season? You think it is?
Yes.
And it does. I mean, Celtics are just better, right? They're just better. I went on a whole thing yesterday. It's we overlooked them. We kind of overlooked the Mavericks, too, in some regard. Right? When we sat around before the playoffs started, we talked about everybody but the Mavericks. We talked about the West because the West was more sexy, was more fun. And all the Celtics did was just go through everybody we put in front of them. And I know they're getting hit. Yeah, well, they went through Miami without Jimmy Butler. And they went out with Cleveland, but Donovan Mitchell was hurt. Yeah, they beat the Pacers, but Tyrese Halliburton was hurt. Bottom line is they played, if they win tonight, 2 games over the minimum. And I do believe, whilst not against the greatest competition, this is one of the best postseason runs. If the domination that they've had in winning the amount, I mean, they've won 10 in a row, haven't lost on the road. And JJ, the last game 2 of the first 2 series, haven't lost since. And they're just deep. They're dominant. They do everything well. They defend. They defend like crazy, and they shoot. And they're deep. And we overlooked them because it just wasn't as sexy. The West was more fun to watch. It just was.
That's why my pick was Boston in this series.
Yeah.
It's one thing. Like, you have a lot of time to talk about things, and everyone wants to try to take a different angle. And because, Jason Tatum was the first team All-NBA selection, people are like, well, we see him, he's not the best player on the floor, he can't lead that team, so that's why the Celtics are not going to do it. Well, then there's Jaylen Brown. If you want to say he's our best player, fantastic. I'll take Jason Tatum as my number 2 all day, every day. Drew Holiday's impact on this team, Derek White, etc., and they've done this without Kristaps Porzingis in the postseason because they are just a fantastic basketball team.
This is the end tonight. And what's on the line for Luka tonight? I want to get into that when we get back. And JJ, I called this 6-7 years ago on this show. I told you it would happen, and it's happening. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
12 up out, and no, I didn't. I figured that would be like Pac-12, and the SEC will become the Chick-fil-A league, and it'll be the All-State Conference, and the Big Ten will become, the Target or something. And my thought was, why not? Right? I mean, why? What is the name of the league? They change all the time. Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, Pac-8, whatever. And there's extra revenue, and they're looking for revenue everywhere. And it was funny how the world was just shocked yesterday when it came out that the Big 12 is exploring selling its naming rights to a title sponsor. Potential revenue, they think, in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Do you remember when I said that years ago? Like, you're right. We talked about this. Why? My whole thing is people are losing their mind. Why not?
Who's losing their mind?
Well, I mean, the quote-unquote traditionalists. Whatever, man. How can the SEC be called this or whatever?
The SEC brought to you by the Waffle House.
Yeah, it'll be. What if it's just the Waffle House or Waffle House Company? It could be the SEC.
With anything, you'll still call it whatever you called it forever.
I imagine. If I'm the sponsor, first of all, I'm not buying presented by, because nobody will use SEC presented by Waffle House. I want it to be the Waffle House Company. I want it to be. What's the problem with that?
Well, then I think that's where it gets into what are we now? Because it's a 4-year agreement, and then you're the Waffle House League, and then you're the Coca-Cola
It's got to be at
League,
least
and
a
then
10
you're
year.
Walmart.
But it's like stadium. It's got to be at least 10 years. But what do you call the ballpark in where the Astros play?
How many people call it Bank One Ballpark?
Well, the Astros are Minute Maid.
Minute Maid. I was thinking,
but it used to be Enron Field.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bank One Ballpark is Chase Field, right? Crypto.com Arena is Staples Center. I mean, it is what it is, right? Nobody calls Isopes Park Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isopes Park, and that's why if I'm buying it, I'm buying the name. And again, I don't have a problem with it. The Big 12's looking to sell it. It would potentially take the name Big out of Big 12, and so if it's Allstate, it would be the Allstate 12. You have a problem with that?
No,
neither do I.
It's just right now it's about revenue,
and everybody's looking to find more of it,
more money.
This has been coming for a long time, and like I said, I told you this. I swear it's 6, 7, 8 years ago, where I sat right here and spit into the same microphone and said it's going to be, Starbucks 12 instead of the Pac-12, although they're no longer, right? I mean, or the Chevron, whatever. What's big up in the upper Midwest, Target, or then they're going to find something up there. It's just more revenue. And by the way, it's a good idea. I know people, how can this be? And I'm never going to call it that. Yeah, you will. If the SEC becomes the Chick-fil-A conference, that going to kill you? The Piggly Wiggly League? The Waffle House? I mean, this is what it is. Do you think Chick-fil-A is going to buy it in and say the SEC presented by Chick-fil-A? What about the tradition, Jeff? The hell? Tradition of what?
Tradition went out the window a long time ago.
Yeah. The tradition of what?
Now it's just about college athletics being there.
Nick Carparelli.
Some form, some way.
Carparelli's coming on. He's the head of bowl season. Used to be the football. We'll talk about it. I think this is, by the way, a really creative way for the Big 12 to go out and try to get where they believe they want to be. Now everybody will catch up. Everybody will do it. They may be the first. But they've explored. Yesterday we talked about the private equity fund out of Luxembourg that may put $800 to $1 million or $1 billion into the Big 12 to help them. But evidently, the Big 12 has been looking at this for the past 6 months. They've had in-depth discussions, and you're going to get something here in the next few months. It could mean millions of dollars annually for each one of their member institutions. Now, they distributed $470 million to its member schools in overall distribution. And it'll be higher with the new deal. But it's still going to be tens of millions of dollars less than the Big Ten and the SEC. They're trying to figure out a way to compete with those conferences. I told you yesterday they've been in discussion with that CVC Capital Partners, the private equity firm. And you're going to have to help me with this one. The stories I've been reading on this, I don't even know what it means. So the private equity firm would give them $800 million, $1 billion for 15 to 20% of the league. What does that mean? What are you giving them? Your revenue that you make? Well,
this is like Live.
Yeah, but this is so different the way you're comprised. You're
selling yourself to a company.
But you're all these institutions. So I'm Arizona and I'm West Virginia and I'm TCU and I'm Colorado, and so will they get 15% of our revenue before we make it? Is that what it is?
They're going to have to get. That's what private equity. They invest and they get money back.
Of course.
That's why they're investing in you, because they
100%.
see dollar signs in their future.
Yeah. No, 100%. Every commercial opportunity the commissioner is bringing is a way to close the financial gap between the Big 12 and the SEC. The number one priority of the Big 12 is maintaining competitiveness, and those opportunities potentially help. That was the source of the Big 12. I know I listened to a lot of people yesterday, and oh my goodness, how can they do this? And oh no, and whatever. Man. Honestly, what does it matter what your league is called? The Big 10 has 18 teams. The Big 12 has 16. The SEC isn't really just in the Southeast anymore. They're in Texas and Oklahoma, which is, with all due respect, it's not the Southeast of anything. The Atlantic Coast Conference is in the Bay Area of California. Why do you continue to tell me what's in a name? And so I got good for Brett Yormark and the Big 12 for doing this. I called this and I said 6-7 years ago they should do this. Starbucks conference and the Chick-fil-A, Alabama and Auburn in a big Chick-fil-A conference matchup. You'll get used to it. You got used to guys wearing patches on their jerseys in baseball and in the NBA. I mean, hell, the Yankees have patches on their uniform. JJ, I think this is a great opportunity for the Big 12 and everybody will catch up, and the Mountain West will do it too, don't you think? I mean, this is just going to be once one does it, and you go, wow.
Who should sponsor the Mountain West Conference?
I don't know. You got an idea? Allsups?
In-N-Out Burger.
In-N-Out would be great. I mean, In-N-Out would be great. Do they have to be in every market?
Because they're in Boise, that one in Colorado.
Are they in Boise?
Yeah.
And they're coming here, right?
They've been coming here for 30 years.
106. As long as we've been trying to build an arena. Yeah. I was, what would be first, In-N-Out Burger or an arena? No, honestly, right?
If it was a chicken place, it would have been here yesterday.
And there'd be lines all the way to Bernalillo on opening day to get chicken. I haven't eaten at either one of those places. Were the two? We had Raising Cane's, and then there was another one. There was big lines with chicken. Have you eaten a Raising Cane's?
Yes.
Is it good?
No, it's not.
It's chicken.
Life changing.
All about the sauce. Everybody tells me.
And it's a sauce like everyone else has.
Like Chick-fil-A sauce?
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A sauce.
That's at least once a year. That's post-game meal on the bus.
Chick-fil-A?
Raising Cane's.
Oh, Raising Cane's. In which town?
Had it in Cruces, had it in Vegas.
Yeah, they're everywhere. All right. 505-246-0610. I'd love your thoughts on the naming of conference. Teller says, Wise Pies. Jeff, that might work the first time. One of the issues was nobody called the dump Dream Style dump. Folks were still calling it University or Wise Pies. That's the point. And that's why you can't have a 3-year deal on this. It's got to be, long-term tenure with companies who are established. And the thought is, what I'm hearing out of the Big 12, they're talking with Allstate. You figure Allstate's going to be around for a long, long time. And I can't even tell you the tentacles that go with this. What if you are a member institution of the Big 12, right? Just say you're Utah, you're Colorado, you're TCU, you're Baylor, whoever you are. And you've got one of your big sponsors is State Farm. And Allstate comes in. I don't know what the exclusivity does. Can you be State Farm or Geico and be in the All-State Conference and have a presence? What will their TV look like? Are they going to not accept? I mean, there's so much to this as far as the exclusivity of the sponsorship, right? But I think that's where we're going. All right, you've got response to this. 505-246-0610. I want to hear it when we get back. And how much is on Luka tonight? Quite a bit, actually. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Center.
This message is brought to you.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Getting rid of Big 10, Big 12, ACC, SEC. Text line says the dropping of the prefix of the conference's traditional name amid adding a paid sponsor, i.e. the Big 12 becoming the Raging Canes 12, is a bad idea. Such a change would eliminate the conference's branding opportunities and naming marketing existence. I don't know that why. I mean, what's it worth to you? And they'll do the math, and if you're getting way more money than you would have gotten before, do they care if you're in State Farm, if you're called Allstate? I'm not sure. I think they do. This is where it's going to go. And I told you this years ago. 505-246-0610. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal.
Well, good morning. Happy National Flag Day. Happy Flag. Hey, Jeff, I think you have some influence with two places that you frequent quite often. I would fully expect it to be the Hooters / Cheesecake Factory Bowl. I'm just messing with you, man. But I like to be consistent. Hey, I have three topics, but first and foremost, I'm willing to admit I was completely wrong about the NBA Finals. I really thought that Dallas was going to pick and roll them to death, and boy, they just, I guess the moment's been too big, and the better roster and the better team is delivering. So congratulations to the Celtics. First topic, you're right about the naming convention. You've been saying it for about a decade. I've been saying for at least a decade and a half that they're going to form three major conferences, maybe even two, could be four, and those conferences are going to secede from the NCAA, and they're going to play for their own championship. And I think we're well on our way to that, and it's okay. And think in terms of high school classifications, and conferences like the Mountain West Conference will play other conferences that are similar to them for a different national championship, which, by the way, it's already in place with Division I, II, and III football. So it's okay as soon as you acknowledge that and accept it and move forward. I think everybody wins because you can't compete. And I know New Mexico State went in and drilled Auburn, and that was awesome. But by and large, I don't need to see blowouts. I just want to see like weight classes and fighting. I just want to see the heavyweights go against the heavyweights, the middleweights go against the middleweights, and I think it'll be a very conducive environment for all of college football. Second topic, the Caitlin Clark situation. So in the hubris of the WNBA, and it's complete and utter hubris, they're so concerned with defending who they are and what they are and how great they are. There's been one catalyst change, one variable that's changed this year in the last few months, where they were almost, I wouldn't say unwatchable, but not relevant, and now they're getting sellouts. Now they're selling out arenas. One variable has changed, and that's Caitlin Clark. To have the blind audacity to not put her on the U.S. Olympic team, to expand the sport, have more notoriety. If they don't realize how they've benefited from this singular individual, I can't help them, right? And the ongoing joke for 2 decades now is they're essentially funded by the NBA, and it's a nice little side project. And I don't mean to demean their sport because there's some great athletes, but that was a huge miss, a huge miss. Last point, Jerry West, the great, the amazing career that he had as a player, as a general manager. I think his singular biggest contribution to the LA Lakers was right when Shaq left from 2005, 2006, and 2007 in Kobe Bryant's prime, where in 2005 they missed the playoffs. Then they were the 7th seed in consecutive years, and they got knocked round. He was Jerry West was the GM of the Memphis Grizzlies, and he orchestrated a trade where they sent the big goofy guy from the Lakers. Can't remember his name. Bynum. He traded Bynum for Paul Gasol, which completely changed the trajectory of that franchise, which was basically headed for a decade of, not being very good. So I give him full credit for that. And what an amazing career, what an amazing individual, and his life should be celebrated. Thanks for taking my thoughts. Have a great day.
That's actually good stuff in there. And we may be on the way to, and probably are, some sort of separation of college football. I agree with them on the Caitlin part. They're not selling out arenas everywhere. I mean, look, the Dream against the Sparks are not selling out. They're selling out certain games, and there is a common denominator. Chad, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Chad.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about Luka and the Mavericks. Following up with the other caller, congrats to the Celtics. They're going to wrap this thing up. It's just too many things have been exposed, and kudos to the Celtics for coach for exposing the biggest weakness on one of the biggest weakness on the Mavericks is, and just putting Luka on the spot for defense, which he doesn't like to play. And he's just not, here's the big thing, he's just not in shape to play both ends of the court. You look at a guy like Jaylen Brown, how cut up he is and how conditioned he is, and you compare that to Luka. He's got a lot of baby fat on him. He's got a lot of, you can tell he likes to drink a few beers at night. He's got to, work on, and I think he can make two choices going forward here. He can kind of keep doing what he's doing, kind of be that petulant kind of person that he seems to be on the court, or he can grow from this and he can build and change some things like his diet, like his workout regimen, like his conditioning, because he really has to come in a different person, and that's what it exposed. And that's what's up for the next couple of years, next few years, to see what happens with the Mavericks, because they do have a lot of upside, but I think a lot of it's on his shoulders because he has a great supporting cast around him. Kyrie's playing well, great defenders, but he's got to up his game.
It's really good.
Thanks.
No, thanks, Chad. What do you think of that? Because I don't know what Luka's regimen is. I know what the perception is. I don't know if he's a grinder. I know what he looks like. But I don't know if it's Jerry Rice like.
I think that there's an element of, if you want to play deep into a season, you do have to change things. And this isn't the first time we've gone on a run. Like, this is a team that a few years ago was in the Western Conference Finals with Luka Doncic. So they know, at least he knows what it takes to play that long. He's battling through stuff. And I do think that's a good point of how do you take your game to the next level when you are that good? And it's the commitment to your body. Some dudes are just not going to look like that. Like Nikola Jokic, everyone thought this dude's out of shape. He's not that good. Sometimes you don't look like all the dudes on Instagram. You don't look like Jaylen Brown. So I think there's an element like some guys are just going to look a certain way. But with Luka, it is probably continuing to elevate yourself off the floor, because you just listen to any great player and they'll tell you how much work they're doing in the off season on their body. And it's the mental game with him.
So there's a couple things. And I don't want to assume just because everybody says it and he looks like it that he doesn't work as hard off the floor. Now, there's a possibility that it's always come so easy. He's always been so much better.
We're talking about, by the way, Luka Doncic, that's been in a professional setting since he was 13 years old.
And he's only 25, right? Tom Brady said the other day at his... By the way, the roast got way more attention than his jersey retirement ceremony. But he talked about how it's hard, right? How it's not easy. That's why I played football. It's not easy getting up every morning at 6 o'clock every summer when your buddies are sleeping. It's not easy eating right and doing the hard things when they're drinking beers and eating pizzas. It's not easy doing the extra workouts and coming in right? And you believe him, A, because he still looks like he does at 46 years old, and B, because he became the greatest quarterback to ever play the position. And was not blessed with the greatest natural talent, and not nearly blessed with probably what Luka's got. I don't want to assume anything about a guy just because I hear stories or he looks doughy. But I think Chad's call is not way off. I mean, he's got to take this series, what happened in this series, and say, yeah, I'm really good, but how do I get great? Or I'm great, but how do I become a champion? Because what is it you want to become? You asked me a question earlier about Trevor Lawrence. We're talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback who just got the biggest contract in the history of the NFL. And you said, can he lead you to the AFC championship? That's why they did this. Yeah, they probably can. Can Luka lead a team to an NBA championship?
Yes.
I think so, too.
He was a major part. It was him and Kyrie of getting a team to the to the NBA Finals.
Yep.
When we just were gushing over the Western Conference.
That's right. 100%. Does he play good enough defense?
Doesn't have to.
Why does
Nikola
he not
Jokic
have
was 3-time MVP and
doesn't play. He got a lot better defense.
He's about as good as Luka Doncic.
I would argue that, but
this is one of those narratives.
Yeah.
Like when we're sitting here with Kenny Thomas, and I was like, oh, by the way, do you realize the last 20 games of the regular season, the Dallas Mavericks were number 1 in the NBA in defensive efficiency? No one believed it.
Okay, so
he can play good enough defense.
How do you explain what happened the other night?
He's getting cooked right now.
But
he's in his head.
But it's and that's where I was going, was your head. How do you have 4 fouls in the fourth quarter, and you're that guy, and then commit that last one?
You get lazy.
So you're not a champion, and there
yet.
lies the difference. You just can't get lazy. In that moment, you can't.
And I think even if you swapped it, like if this was a team that, if it was Luka, Kyrie, Drew Holiday, it's different. Like some of that is Luka's not going to win by himself. And Kyrie got him here. But you also see a team in Boston, they're that much better.
So, and that's a really good point. Okay, so is Luka eating too much crap because the other team just flat out?
I think this is one of the things where you can honestly say both are true. Luka played a very bad game. He got lazy.
Yep.
I think some of it to the point of the effort needed. Can he do that right now? Like, are they just making all these things up about him? I don't believe so. I think the dude is taking the needle every game to go out there.
Oh, I have no doubt. I think he's.
And I think you realize, as good as PJ Washington is, it's Daniel Gafford, a rookie inside of, when you get past Tatum, there's Drew Holiday, who people won a championship,
and
still at 34 years old, so he's one of the best defenders. And what he does offensively. Oh, by the way, Derek White is your 4th scoring option. Yeah. And just an Al Horford who, when I talk about playing at a high level late in your career, still going out there giving you 38 minutes guarding everybody.
I'll throw the other thing in there. The optics are horrible. And optics are, they play.
He has to stop complaining to the point where he doesn't even get back on defense.
Yes, I wanted someone to run a tape, and I'd love for somebody to do this, go look through every minute. Who spent more time? First of all, how much time, like literally, how much time did he spend whining at refs during the season? And who spends more time complaining, him or LeBron? And I get it, man. You guys are superstars, and you should get calls. But that is played into this narrative, too. Because perception is reality. And you see a guy who's supposed to be that damn good, and he's palms are in the air all the time, and he's got that little whine on his face, and he wants to call on every freaking play. And he's never committed a foul. You just can't be that. I had chat. That was a great call. 505-246-0610. You can talk with Nick Carparelli. He's the executive director of Bowl Season, the Football Bowl Association, or previously called Football Bowl Association. The status of college football postseason. Where does it go? And when we come back, mini camps are open. One of the big running backs in the National Football League, another one's holding out. And by the way, he's the highest paid guy. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Sports Animal.
All right, Rory McIlroy is falling back a little bit. He's going to fall further. He is 2 over on the day, and he's going to lose another one. So, JJ, this is what the U.S. Open is doing. They're on 17. He was about 25 feet above the hole, putting, or he's a. All right.
This is trending to be one of those weekends
that
we talk probably a little too much about the course.
Why do you think that?
Because I've seen some shots that are good shots and roll 50 feet off the green.
Yeah. Okay. He was 25 feet above the hole, putting for par, or putting for birdie. He not only putted past the hole, it rolled off the green, down the hill where he had to put away his putter and chip, and he just chipped in for par, which is, by the way, an unbelievable par. I guess you call that a one-putt par. If you putt off, I don't even know how you do that in stats. The course is going to be the story. Isn't it? It's unbelievable how these dudes went 500 and 400. And watching what's going on this morning, it looks like it's even tougher. But yeah, balls are landing in the center of the green and just completely. It's like they've compared it to an upside down saucer, and just hitting it there and trying to. We'll talk with Nick Nee coming up at 8:30, the director of golf out at the San Diego Golf Club, and get an update on the U.S. Open. But your leader is Patrick Cantlay at -5. He'll go off at 11:25 today. Ludwig Oberg at -4. He'll go off right after that. And then you got a group of 3. Terrell Hatton, who's on the course right now, 1 under today, 3 under overall, with Rory and Bryson DeChambeau and Thomas Dietrich and Matthew Pavon. The U.S. Open's going on at Pinehurst right now. And I can't believe what I just watched. It's incredible. All right. Guys hold out at training camp all the time, JJ. Do you think it's rare when the guy who's got the highest cap hit number on the team is holding out? Now, he's got no guaranteed money remaining on his deal for next year. But Saints Alvin Kamara is holding out. He was there for the walkthrough, and according to head coach Dennis Allen, he was here. Quote, then he went in, and I haven't had a chance to talk to him, so I'm not sure why I wasn't out there. 2 years left on a 5-year, $77 million deal. That's about as good as the running back deals can get.
Because it wasn't a real deal.
Well, because there's no guaranteed money on the backside.
Well, because they put a fake $25 million tag on the very end to up his money to $15 million per year. There's no way they're paying Alvin Kamara $25 million next year. And that's why he's holding out.
He
because
knows
he knows that it's not guaranteed and they're going to cut him.
What's he getting this year? 18 and a half? He didn't go to OTAs this year. That's been his routine past offseason. He did go to the first 2 practices, mandatory minicamp. And then after practice Tuesday said that doing what he's done. Quote, I got access to all the practice film. It's not like I'm just in the building and nothing's happening. I talked to these dudes, some of my teammates. I talked to some of the coaches, and I don't know. I think it's a little weird, the narrative that's going on. I understand what kind of the word has been doing something different, and everybody doing, for me, just kind of, I stuck to what I know. He went on. He's still really good. I don't even know how old he is, but he's still really good. He's 28 years old, so he's kind of at the end, and he sees it. He sees what the number is. I say at the end because the magic number for running backs is 30. When he came back from his suspension last year, JJ, he was really good. I would argue that he's their best offensive player. Would you argue back at me?
Yeah.
Who's better?
Chris Olave?
I don't think Olave's better yet. I would argue that Kamara's still their most versatile, best player. He runs.
Oh, we want to talk about more versatile player.
Well, their best player.
Taysom Hill.
Okay. Taysom Hill can take a ball and run. But this guy runs through tackle,
block,
runs wide, catches as well as any back in the league out of the backfield. I would argue he right now Olave I think will be better, but I think he's better than Olave. I think he's more valuable. But he's a running back, and so he won't be paid. What's he worth?
I don't know, man. 3.9 yards per carry, not great last year.
How many catches? 3.9 yards per carry. I thought he had more than one touchdown.
Yeah. Still good. 75 catches with 466 yards.
Yeah, he missed the first 5 games.
Yeah, he's going to check downs all day from Derek Carr.
Which is an extension of the running game. Yeah. So what's he worth to you? You let him hold out as long as he wants and say you want to get paid, come to work? That's probably the way
it makes sense to probably lock in 2 more years with Kamara.
2 more. Okay. But you're not guaranteeing him that money that he wants. I wouldn't think. Tampering yesterday, by the way. The Falcons got hit. This one's stunning. Not that they got hit. not that they tampered. I think we all knew they tampered with Kirk Cousins. JJ, they only got docked a 5th-round pick in next year's draft and fined $250,000.
A lot of people were shocked how easy the NFL came down on a franchise for directly tampering with a starting quarterback.
What did we miss here? I mean, other franchises have gotten hit way harder for tampering with other players.
Miami's like, wait. We flirted with Tom Brady and Sean Payton. Didn't get any of these guys, and you docked us a 1st-round pick.
Yes, and didn't even get him. Help me understand this one.
These are the ones that you just get so many fan bases shaking their head. Like, this seems like it would be easy. That if it's that blatant and Kirk Cousins has openly talked about it, that there should pretty much be a set for tampering. Tampering at this level will cost you 1st, 2nd round pick.
Unless you're Atlanta and it's
Atlanta, like, this is fantastic. We got our starting quarterback, just lose a 5th-round pick. This is great.
All right, we're going to talk college football when we come back. Nick Carparelli is the executive director of bowl season. Where do bowls sit now? What's the future from his perspective? He's been at all the conference meetings, talked to all the big dogs. Schedules are out. It's the opening drive. We'll talk to Nick Carparelli next on 95.9 FM and AM 16 Sports Hour.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
Proud of us. Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, it was a week ago yesterday, last Thursday, we got the full bowl schedule for college football. And it looked a little different, and I know a lot of you have been asking me, what do you think, and what do you think? And I'm excited about it. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. We'll get back to phone calls in a little bit. The 12-team college football playoff will initiate this December. And the bowl season schedule filled in around that. And I think it's exciting. And there's been a lot of talk, what about the bowls? Where will the bowls fit? How will the bowls fit? And things are different. For instance, the third Saturday in December, where we've traditionally sat for 18 of the last 19 years, is now occupied by the college football playoff. And so things moved around. I think it came out really good, but I want to give you a perspective from above. Nick Carparelli is the executive director of bowl season, formerly known as the Football Bowl Association, and obviously intimately involved with everything that is postseason college football. He joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Nick. How you living?
I'm doing well, Jeff. Good to be with you.
Oh, it's good to have you. So what do you think when you saw the schedule came out? You knew all the challenges we were all facing, and you were right in the middle of it. I think it's pretty exciting, and it looks different. The calendar shifted on us. The pre-Christmas windows changed. You've got games going all the way back to Army-Navy. What do you think when you finally saw the full schedule?
Well, I was excited about it, as I am every year. I mean, there's Christmas, and then there's the day that the bowl season schedule comes out. I love that day. I sit down like I think a lot of people across the country do and say, wow, okay, how does this flow? What games are on what day? Which game, for me, being the executive director of bowl season, I look at it and say, which games am I going to go to? Physically, logistically, which games can I get to? And I start mapping it out already. So that's always exciting for me. But as you mentioned, interesting, one of the most unique bowl season schedule we've had because of a couple of things. Obviously, you mentioned the first year of the new 12-team playoff, which meant the Saturday traditionally reserved for the first day of bowl season is now the first day of the CFP. There'll be 3 games played on that day, 1 game the day before. So that necessitated us moving a number of games. We usually have 7 games to kick off bowl season on that day. Now we're not having any. So we need to start bowl season early. We have games that week before, kicking off on December 14th with the Cricket Celebration Bowl and the Camellia Bowl around the Army-Navy game. That got a little bit of attention. We were very aware of the ramifications of putting games on the same day as Army-Navy. We were very respectful of that time slot and that television window. So we were very, very diligent in scheduling the first game to kick off and be done before the Army-Navy game, and then the second game to be at night well after the Army-Navy game is over. So really excited about this year's schedule. And another interesting thing, too, because last year we had 18 pre-Christmas games, and the rest were post-Christmas. We're starting bowl season a week early this year, but we're only having 11 preseason pre-Christmas games and 33 post-Christmas games, which is kind of counterintuitive. So for the purists out there who think that all the bowl games should be post-Christmas, this was a good development. And even your game, Jeff, obviously it's traditionally been pre-Christmas, but now it's on Saturday the 28th. Yeah. So we're excited about that.
It's interesting over the year how the mindset has shifted to, a lot of thought was that way. And I remember when Rich Rodriguez played in our game with Arizona, he never played in a pre-Christmas game, and then he came back 3 years later and said, I love it. If we're not going to play in one of the New Year's 6, I want to play pre-Christmas because we don't have to send the players home and bring them back. And so they really like that. And the calendar shift this year. Last year, the third Saturday in December was the 16th. This year, it's the 21st. And so you start playing around that in the NFL and the holidays. Nick, I run a bowl game, and so I obviously have a bias on this. But I know bowls have a place in the college football landscape. And while the playoff expands to 12 teams, there's got to be room for more than 12 teams out of 136 or whatever the number is now to play in the postseason. And I talk about, what's New Mexico playing for? What is maybe Fresno State? Our teams we've had, San Diego State, New Mexico State, what are they playing for? And if they don't get into the playoff, there should be something there for them. And that's why I firmly think, and I'd love your thought on this, the future of the bowl system is healthy, and there is still room for that to go coincide and coexist with the playoff.
You're 100% correct. I think, let's face it, the CFP is exciting, right? I think as football fans, we're looking forward to the new 12-team format. This great sport needs a great way to crown a national champion. But as you said, it's 135 FBS institutions. They're all really important at their universities and for the student athletes and the families who play at those schools. And let's face it, college football is not an even playing field. There are more schools that are not Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State and Michigan than are, right? There's I have the good fortune in May of attending most of the conference annual meetings, and I get an audience in front of the head football coaches, the athletic directors, and they're the voices that matter in this. And they look at me like I have three heads when I say that maybe some people don't want more bowl games or that people criticize bowl games. They need bowl games, even the Big Ten, right? One of the Power Two. Most schools in that league are not Ohio State and Michigan and Penn State. So I'm presenting to that head football coaches group and ask them what they want out of the bowl system, how meaningful it is. And I have the coaches from Rutgers and Maryland and Illinois and Northwestern and Indiana. And you go down the line, most of the schools in that league, they're like, Nick, we need these games. These games are important to us. When we get our sixth win, we celebrate because we know we're going to be spending a little bit more time together. Once classes are over, and we really have a chance to bond together and enjoy each other and be rewarded for a successful season. And that's what bowl season does.
He's Nick Carparelli. He's the executive director of bowl season with us on the Sports Hour.
Well, Nick, I know so many in the college world are just waiting on decisions, and the decisions usually right now are coming down from courts. But as someone that's able to take a step back and look at everything, are you worried? Is there anything that worries you, or do you think that, hey, there's decisions that come down and then whatever happens will work itself out with college athletics and the health of college football?
Yeah, I'm a positive thinker, and so I always kind of think the best is going to happen. I'm not naive, though. I think the best thing college football has going for itself is itself. It's the second most popular sport in America. And I think no matter how much some of the college administrators try to screw it up, I don't think you can. Because when all is said and done, and there's more time of the year when we're talking about the infrastructure around college football than we are actually playing it. I look forward to every year, Labor Day weekend, the ball kicks off. Everybody forgets about all that, and they get caught up in the excitement and the rivalries and the tradition, and at the end of the season, the bowl games that make college football so great.
Nick, what's your message to fans? I think, I've worked with Jeff long enough that, I understand the bowl game. I appreciate everything that goes into it. But I think sometimes as sports fans, we get so caught up in you're either a champion or you failed. What's your message to fans about bowl season and the impact of bowl games outside of the college football playoff and how fans should embrace these opportunities?
Yeah, well, I think every fan base is different. If you talk to a fan in Michigan, he might give you different answers to the same questions. And if you talk to a fan at Rutgers or New Mexico State or Fresno State or most other programs, right? I think everybody's definition of success is different. So you kind of have to tailor your conversation. But I would tell fans to just enjoy the games, enjoy the moment, enjoy the great student athletes that are representing your university, enjoy the student athletes that are playing for you at that moment. We're in this era where players are opting out, they're transferring. Some of the players who played in the regular season, still a minority, still only about 10%. Players who played in the regular season for a team opt to not play in a bowl game. But last time I looked, fans over the course of history root for their team first. They rooted for and pulled for players who played years and years ago. They root for the guys who play today, and they're going to root for the guys who play in the future. So if you have an opportunity to see your team play, maybe it's a younger player in a bowl game who hasn't had a chance to see the field yet, and all of a sudden I look at the quarterback for USC and his performance in the Holiday Bowl out of nowhere. You could see visibly the USC fans in the stands being a little apathetic at the beginning of the game. Their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback wasn't playing. So all of a sudden their new quarterback is lighting it up. Now he's the starter for this year, and they got a sneak peek of that. So bowl games have always been an opportunity. And then regardless of how the landscape has changed, they're going to continue to be.
Bill Hancock, who just retired as the executive director of College Football Playoff, and I had this conversation in El Paso. And it was exactly that. We got to stop concentrating on what's not there and concentrate on who is there. You're not, no matter what NIL and the Arizona Bowls doing their thing, and I think other bowls may follow, no matter how much you give a player a first or a second round probable draft pick, you're not going to give them enough to say, you know what, I'm going to play in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl or the Atlanta New Mexico Bowl, whatever. But you got to concentrate on those who are there. And I think the majority in the community in which they're playing, they're coming out to see the game. And aside from the Sugar Bowl, right? Or no, I'm sorry, the Orange Bowl, it was 63-3 with Florida State's opt-outs. The games tend to be really good anyway, and you celebrate those who are there, and they have a good time. You celebrate the community.
Yeah, that's you hit it on the head, Jeff. That's people root for their teams. You're always going to see an exciting game, and that's one of the intrigue around bowl games, right? Even the casual fan, and if 3 million people watches the average bowl game, that's an inflated number. Clearly, you're capturing the casual fan in addition to the passionate fan, but. During bowl season, fans will turn on the TV on a Wednesday between Christmas and New Year's, knowing they're going to find a bowl game to watch. They might not even know what game it is, but it's probably going to be, two teams that wouldn't normally schedule each other. Maybe they heard about the teams during the regular season and said, I heard about this team. They have a high-powered offense. Or I heard about this coach. He's going to be the next big thing. And they watch the game and they enjoy it, and that's what we have to focus on.
It's just proven. I mean, they watch Central Michigan play San Jose State in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, or they watch Northern Illinois play Georgia Southern in the 68 Ventures Bowl. We watch because we love it, and it's been good. But what do you tell people when they say, all right, so Nick, what is the state of bowl games right now? I know it's a really general softball lob question, but I get it all the time, and I think people probably need a different voice on it.
Yeah, the future of bowl games is bright. We just need to continue to evolve. College athletics is evolving at a very rapid pace, quicker than it ever has been forced to before. A lot of things need to be figured out that are out of our control. But once it's all said and done, bowl games are going to be there. Because like I said earlier, the head coaches are demanding it. The athletic directors are demanding it. The student athletes need a meaningful postseason experience. Every other sport in college athletics gets to experience something new and something different that they can carry with them their whole lives. Basketball goes to the Bahamas or Hawaii in the early season tournaments. Pretty much every other sport, they get to go on foreign tours in the summer that's funded by the university. They don't generate revenue. They're funded by their universities. Football teams don't get that. The bowl games fills that void for this football student athletes. And by the way, they generate a lot of revenue process. So bowl games are here to stay. We have a bright future, and I'm excited for what's ahead.
I love it. You can go to bowlseason.com, and it's all there. The full schedule is there. He's Nick Carparelli, the executive director of Bowl Season. It was formerly called the Football Bowl Association. He also hosts the podcast, which it's got great guests. You should make that part of what you do. And I know yesterday you called me out. So JJ, Nick forgot me. He was giving credit on something, and he forgot me. And somebody said, "Well, Jeff was there." Nick says, "Well, Jeff's easy to forget." So Nick, I'm going to guess that's why you forgot the RSVP. I gave away your spot in next week's Isleta New Mexico Bowl golf tournament. I'm assuming you're not coming to Albuquerque on Monday, or if you are, I'll find a spot.
Yeah, I live in the Northeast, and we have long winters we have to brave. But this time of year is absolutely beautiful here in Narragansett, Rhode Island. So the last thing I want to do this time of year is travel. But if you have one in the colder months, I'll be there.
Oh, okay. Well, we get this thing called winter too. I mean, it's chilly.
Not like we do here. I'll tell you.
Yeah, no, I promise that's the truth. My little girl's going to learn about winter too. As she embraces on the north as well.
And I gotta give a shout out to Jeff. For those of you who don't know, Jeff serves on the bowl season executive committee. He does a great job, not only operating his game in New Mexico, but also helping oversee the entire system to make sure bowl season stays healthy. He does a great job, and I guess technically he's one of my bosses, so I kind of had to say that.
So, JJ, after our first meeting, I think Nick said you talked more in your first meeting than anybody ever did in your first meeting. I'm like, dude, if you're going to bring me in the room, you're probably going to hear what I have to say.
No surprise. No surprise to anybody who knows you, Jeff.
Yeah. All right. Enjoy the beautiful weather in Narragansett. I will catch up with you, but I appreciate you spending some time with us. And go to bowlseason.com. It's all there. He is Nick Carparelli, the executive director of Bowl Season. Be well, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. See you. Look, obviously he's the spokesperson for it, and you're going to get that. You know what you're going to get. But I think you need to just kind of hear it from someone else, from me, and kind of where it's coming from. And Nick's out there doing a heck of a job and promoting it. But JJ, I think the bottom line that's inarguable is, the playoff is expanding to 12. But what are the other 130, 35 minus 12, with the other 123 teams playing? There's got to be something, right?
Well, not good enough, Jeff.
We'll see.
We're here to win.
You got a sweet deal.
Championship.
Sweet deal for you when we come back. Nick Nee's going to be with us, the director of golf at Sandia Golf Club. We'll get you an update on the U.S. Open. Look at that ball just rolling off the green. Just rolling. It's like on your kitchen floor. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Hour.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony.
Oh, this is good. This helps. FYI, the other local new chicken joint's called Slim Chicken. Same flavor as Raising Cane's. Thanks, Hank. Thanks to Nick Carparelli. Rod says, too many bowls, Jefferson. I haven't looked at the schedule because, quite frankly, I don't care. But surely they aren't expanding the number of playoff teams and keeping the same number of bowls. Where are the teams going to come from? There wasn't enough 6-6 clubs before. Same number of teams, same number of bowls. How can that be? They're going to play the first round of the playoffs on site, and then the next round will be in bowls, and the next round will be in bowls. The quarterfinals, so they're utilizing the bowls in the playoff. So, of the 12 playoff teams, 4 of them will not play in a bowl. The teams that lose in the first round, those are going to be on site. And 4 of them, is that right? 4? Yeah, 4 will play in 2 bowls. The teams that win the quarterfinal games in a bowl game will go in the next week and play in the semifinal in a bowl. So, in fact, Rod, I appreciate that you don't care, and that's cool, but you obviously do because you send me a lot of I don't care emails about this subject. But there are plenty of people who do. And so there'll be the same number of bowls and, in fact, the same number of teams. That makes sense? They're utilizing the bowls. Some will play in 2. There'll be 4 that play in 2 bowls and 4 that don't play in it. Same number. Makes sense? And if you don't care, I mean, that's cool. Don't watch, and that's good. It's like those of you who don't care about soccer, you're not watching. Some of you don't care about the U.S. Open, you're not watching. That's the beauty of the remote control. 505-246-0610. Patrick Cantlay is still leading the U.S. Open at -5. Ludwig Oberg at -4. Rory McIlroy is holding on. Dude, he is just punching out. And he is at -2. -3. Tony Finau and Bryson DeChambeau will go up later there at -2. Of course, looks tougher today. Right? We'll talk with Nick Peake up here in a bit about the golf course. Anything Nick say surprise you, or is it basically what you expected out of the dude running that course?
I wasn't surprised by anything.
Here's one thing that I don't think people understand, or maybe don't realize. And so the one bit of information that he said that I don't say, and this is true, the conferences and the coaches want to make sure the bowl system is good. And you think, well, the coaches don't care. No, they actually do. Well, Jeff, it's because they're getting bonus. Well, maybe. But the conferences and the coaches want to preserve the bowl system and their bowl partnership. And so as long as the leagues and the teams want to play, there will be bowl and communities to host them. And that's where the strength lies. So if you get to a point where, man, we're good, man, we got 136, 140 teams, whatever it is, and we only need 12 spots in the postseason. Or if there's a break off and you say, Mountain West Conference USA, MAC, Sun Belt, American, they're going to go do their own thing. Then maybe we get a shift. But I think we're around for a while. Carl wants to know, today is the last time we see Tiger on the court in 2024, Jeff? The British will likely be chilly and hilly. isn't conducive to his game right now. The rest of the summer is filler like the John Deere and the Reno Invite, counting down the playoffs. Normally, Tiger doesn't sniff those events. It could be. It could be. I don't know, man. So how did you watch it? Are we over the Tiger thing? And, like, I'm not going to lie, yesterday, JJ at about 7:30, 5 holes in, and he was in first place. I was like, oh, look at that. And then he bogeyed 4 out of the next 6.
What do you mean by over the Tiger thing?
Are you watching for him, or are you watching and oh yeah,
Tiger will always be a thing if he's going off early.
Yep.
But if he's not there, then it's just back to normal.
So if he's not there tomorrow, you still watching? You watching Scheffler, DeChambeau, and yeah,
I think even the average sports fan watches the majors regardless.
I think that's right.
And especially with the highlights you're going to see today, a course that, and I'm looking forward to talking with Nick Nee, because it's U.S. Open and it's supposed to be tough. Man, I don't know, even as a professional, how you handle it. Like, you hit a great shot, boom, land it 4 feet from the pin, and then it rolls 60 feet away.
And I'm just watching these guys just hit out of the sand and the hay all day.
Yeah, that you expect that. If you don't hit a fairway, it's going to be a disaster.
But even when they're hitting the fairway, like Scheffler just hit within the fairway and just rolled all the way through. It's an interesting leaderboard, though. It is an interesting leaderboard. Your guys, 2 of your guys are sitting right there at minus 2. Or, well, DeChambeau is at -3 and Finau's at -2. Xander's moved up a little today. He's at -1. Of all the dudes out there, there are only 16 who are under par. 16 players under par, and there are 156 in the field. Best golfers. Does that tell you everything you need to know? 16 under par out of 150. All right, sweet deal. Tomasitas, delicious New Mexican cuisine. They don't mess with the chili. Happy hour in the bar Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. So if you need to get your afternoon drink on, you got a little happy hour. They got quick and convenient lunches. It's the Tomasitas here in Albuquerque over by Century Rio right there on Jefferson. So for $25, you get $50 worth of Tomasitas. Go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the sweet deal icon, and for $25, you get $50. Nick Nee next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM. We'll talk some U.S. Open and get you a golf tip on the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes. What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by.
Do you play it on like the kitchen floor or something? Or at Pinehurst number 2, and it looks even harder. Some of you like enjoy watching the U.S. Open because it makes you feel human. Oh yeah, I do that. But you're watching guys hit out of the sand and the hay and hit balls in the middle of the green. I just watched Rory with a par putt from 25 foot above the hole, putt off the green, and then chip in for par. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. U.S. Open's going on. Patrick Cantlay at 5 under, Ludwig Oberg at -4. Rory is in a group, and he is slugging out there at -2. Nick Nee is the director of golf at the beautiful San Diego Golf Club, and he joins us. I'm watching this featured group with Scheffler, Schauffele, and Rory. I mean, golf is hard, man. How you living?
We're living well. Happy Major Championship Friday, and good to see that those guys are human and struggle on some of the shots that we struggle with, but a little bit different conditions, I'd say.
It's insane. JJ said earlier that this is a week where the golf course is maybe going to be talked about too much. I don't know, man. The golf course is the story, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think JJ's right. I think the the beauty behind majors is there's 4 different setups that test them in 4 different complete ways. You have tradition at the Masters, and obviously the green complexes are goofy, but guys take it low there. And then you got the PGA Championship, where they want a little bit of the birdie fests and some of the entertainment on that side. They try and shorten some carry or where people hit it. And then you get the U.S. Open that they love that. They don't want to see double-digit winners. They want to make it hard. That's what they're about, and it's the greatest test in golf. You have the longest day in golf and then the greatest testing day in golf with the USGA.
Did you see the hole on I think it was 17, where Rory was above the hole and putted, and it rolled all the way down the hill, and he had to put away his putter and chipped in for par?
I did, and unfortunately, he's not alone. I don't know if you watched yesterday, if we were watching golf or we were watching a volleyball match, but there's people that are going to and from bunkers and in and out of waste areas and flying greens and back across. And I like a little bit of the carnage. I don't, it's fun to watch, them struggle a little bit, but I think scoring's going to be a lot different today.
I look at the courses and I'm like, I kind of want to play that course. I have no desire. None. Like, it just doesn't look fun to me. What would a 15 handicap shoot at Pinehurst the way it's set up today? 120, 130?
Yeah, I'd probably take the over.
Really?
Just because of putting. I think, it's going to take 5 to 6. So, you're already near the 65, 70 in strokes just on the greens. And then you got to somehow get it in grass to even get it near the putting surface. If you look at how the course has changed from when they played it in 05 there to what it is now, those fairways are about half the size of what they were, and there's half the amount of turf as what there were in 2005. And take it to, I'm not sure exactly which hole's the long par 3. The green complex is 30 paces from side to side. The average proximity to the hole yesterday was 52 feet from the hole. So you're taking a proximity to the hole that stretches beyond the surface of the green. A 15 to 20 handicap, you might want to just start bowling at that point and put the clubs away.
He is Nick Nee, the director of golf at the San Diego Golf Club.
Well, Nick, I know a lot of people think they play on really fast greens in the state of New Mexico. What's your mindset with greens like that in terms of, just as you said, trying to land it anywhere on the green, but then trying to manage the pace of a putt?
Yeah, I think, if golf is golfing your ball and where you can leave it. If you can leave it in spots that allow you to be uphill, but if you're downhill, side hill, it's defensive putting. All you're trying to do, and you heard Bryson say it yesterday in his presser just after the round, that the middle of the green isn't going to move. Get to the middle of the green and just make pars and play boring golf. So when you're putting on things like that, obviously you have to pick a good line, but you're more just worried about getting it within that 3-foot circle to give yourself a makeable chance at the 2-putt. If you start being aggressive on fast greens and you miss it, or you catch a lip of the hole and it generates more speed, that's where you're going to start adding strokes very quickly. Again, try and make it in the big hole, 3-foot circle, and then try and make a bunch of 3-4 footers to keep rounds going, because that's what Bryson's able to do. At a 90% conversion rate of up and downs for the PGA Championship. And it's going to have to be someone that's going to have something similar to win the U.S. Open.
And what's crazy about that 3-4 foot hole, I mean, with these guys, you usually figure 90%. I've watched more 2 and 3 foot putts miss. Scheffler, just seconds ago, just missed a 3-footer. He's the best in the world. Xander just buried one from about 20 feet. He's 2 under on the day and 2 under on the tournament. But I've watched more, guys, stuff that maybe your buddies are saying, yeah, that's good. I'm watching the best in the world miss these 2-footers regularly.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're probably moving a ton. It's a 2-foot putt that breaks a 1.5 foot, or 2-foot putt that you have to trickle into the hole, you can't hit it with any sort of pace because you don't want the one coming back. So it's good to see. You know, they're not giving anything; it doesn't count, and you add them up when they're all hold. But man, it's a tough test, and it's going to be a lot harder today, I bet, because of the scores yesterday.
Yeah, no, the morning scores already. I mean, I'm just watching Rory out there punching, and he's 2 over on the day. It looks hard. This is my favorite one of all of them. I know everybody loves the Masters, and I think there's the tradition, and it's the first one. But the way this sets up, I'm that guy. I like watching guys scuffle and look like the rest of us on the golf course. It makes you feel human. It makes you realize, okay, the game is really that damn hard.
Yeah, I mean, take Tiger Spresser. He hitting draws all week, and then he hits cuts, and his one response when he was asked the question is, he said, golf's hard. It's good to see that those guys at that top 1% or top tier of players can struggle in the game, because there's many weeks where it just looks like they're not playing the same game as we and consumers and recreational players are. So it's good to see that when they get tested, just like we do when we play, whether you're playing at your local club or you're playing here at Sandia, it's a hard game. No doubt about it. And it's hard between the ears. It's hard to play physically. It's hard to, stay sharp. And it's good to see those guys struggle a little bit. But you're also going to see, I bet you there, Keegan Bradley, I think, is 3 under today. So there's going to be a couple low rounds, but I'm with you. I like to see him struggle a little bit.
Yeah, Xander's 2 under today so far. Taylor Pendrith is 2 under today. There's a few rounds out there that guys are going low, but for the most part, I mean, Bob was in yesterday, and we were talking about the top, and Tiger was 4 over. He said, well, who's at the bottom? And you look at some of the names. I mean, Phil Mickelson was, 8 over, whatever he was. There's some good players. Mackenzie Hughes was plus 10. Phil Mickelson plus 9 yesterday. There's some really good names that put up. Victor Hovland, one of the best in the world, plus 8, man. I mean, some really good names. Sahith Theegala, plus 7. Golf's hard.
It's very hard, and it's good to see him struggle. I'm with you. I like this just because I love to see the challenge, and I'll tune in to see what they can do against the hardest test in golf. But you get guys that are – Victor Hovland's one of the best iron players and ball strikers there is on the PGA Tour. And look at his score. So it's very hard, and they're tested.
All right, make it easier for us. You got a golf tip?
Yeah, I got one just for the U.S. Open. It's just a simple you can do it as a game. You can do it as just to try, but you're going to get in a chipping area or get to the chipping green, put a towel. I like to start like 5 to 10 yards. I'm going to put a towel down. We're going to get 4 or 5 different clubs, and what we're trying to do is just land the ball next to the towel, and we're just going to see the amount of rollout. We've talked a lot about the technique of chipping, so as we progress, now we got to understand how the ball is going to react once we can pitch it onto the green, and then how it's going to roll. So you saw the guys at the U.S. Open, short game in that area. They were using hybrids, fairway woods, lofted wedges. Get those things and just start hitting shots. And we're not hitting it to a hole. We're not hitting it anywhere specific. What we're looking at is if we can land it the first initial yard, what is the amount of rollout that we're going to get on that? And what it'll do is it'll give you options around the green to hit shots and have different yardages or different ways to get the ball rolling closer to the hole. And the more options you have in the short game area, your better chances to get up and down.
And it'll roll differently if you play it from the back of your stance or the front of your stance, right? You kind of want to get a grasp of that. And Phil Mickelson once said the first thing in chipping is, are you playing it from the front or the back? Because you got to pick one or the other, and it'll roll more from the back and theoretically and roll a lot less if you play from the front, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You're 1,000% correct. And as you get comfortable with it and you start to see those rollouts and you start to see how the ball is reacting, start adjusting with the ball position. You don't have to adjust technique or adjust grip or anything of that nature, but change your ball position and just see how it affects not only the trajectory of the shot, but the amount of rollout. And that's what that drill is looking for, is how much rollout do we have based off of the clubs we're hitting in the short game area. And then when you get on the golf course and you have a shot like that, you have some confidence to hit it with multitude of options, because then it's going to give you a better chance to get up and down. But yes, play with ball position, because it does affect trajectory and the amount of rollout once it hits the surface.
That's good stuff. What do you got going on at Sandia Golf Club? I know it's all at sandiagolf.com.
Yeah, visit us, sandiagolf.com, for our best available rates. Again, those are all on there. Any specials we have. But we still do have our Adidas promotion in the golf shop. Spend $150, get a free Seamus head cover from Adidas Golf. And with Father's Day on Sunday, one happy Father's Day to the both of you and all the fathers listening. But there's no better gift than golf. So visit us at sandiagolf.com. We'll ship gift cards out. They'll be available for pickup here in the golf shop. or come on in and spend $150 on Adidas apparel for Dad and get a free head cover. And whether you give it to him or not, we won't tell on you.
All right. I appreciate it. Always do. Happy Father's Day to you. Enjoy the day, and always appreciate you spending some time with us. He is Nick Nee, the director of golf at San Diego Golf Club. It's all at sandiegogolf.com. We'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it, guys. Enjoy the U.S. Open.
All right. You too. See you. He's the best, dude. He's the best. And he's like us, man. He likes watching these guys chop it up because, I don't know, it's always just, wow, it looks like us out there.
Well, part of it is, the course.
Yes.
Like it's almost, I don't feel like they're like us because you're asking them to hit a golf ball into concrete.
Yeah.
And so everyone's going to look like that.
Yeah. Yeah. But it makes me feel better.
So I understand the challenge of the U.S. Open, but which is fun, but sometimes I think it's over the top.
Sometimes it is.
But I think that's
and
what
the
they're
players
going for.
the players think that too. Players complain about it every year. It's the opening drive. Kenny Thomas will be with us coming up at 9:00. We'll kick it with Kenny, talk about the NBA Finals, which could end tonight. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Center.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
They're playing, they play the backside first, so that would be number 12. He's at -4, 1 stroke back of Patrick Cantlay. Rory's 2 over for the day. Xander Schauffele, who started with 2 bogeys today, has now made 2 birdies in a row, and he's got up to -3, 2 strokes back of Patrick Cantlay. Just saw a hole-in-one, JJ. Sepp Strapka with a hole-in-one on number 9. So that's what's going on at the U.S. Open at Pinehurst. Looks like a perfect day. Big galleries, hard golf course. Everything it's supposed to be. 505-246-0610. Kenny Thomas is going to be here. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll kick it with Kenny, and we will get into the NBA Finals tonight. Luka Doncic and the Mavericks trying to not get swept. This was big, and I wanted to hit on this locally. Mason Posa, La Cueva, 6'3", 210-pound linebacker, 4-star recruit. JJ, he's going to Wisconsin. Do you like those little ceremonies? Pick up the hats, put them down. I guess that's the thing.
Yes.
He
let people enjoy their life.
He played it up yesterday. Picked up
Let kids have fun.
Wisconsin hat, put it down. A&M, put it down. Almost put on the Oregon hat.
I was waiting for your daughter to do that. Didn't get that video.
No, we didn't. We didn't do that.
She should have had an Ohio State hat, slowly picked it up and then
torched it,
spiked it.
Yeah.
Boom!
And stepped on it. Yeah. I think it's really cool. So he's going to Wisconsin, and this is, y'all already knew what I was doing. And good for him, man. And 4-star recruit out of Albuquerque and out of New Mexico didn't happen much. He's going to a great program. I'm going to go play in the Big Ten, which will Target 10, which will have 18 teams or whatever.
Big Ten brought to you by Allstate.
It's another young man to watch doing great things on the national stage. All right, is it over tonight? Nuggets. Mavericks are down 3-0. The Celtics sweep tonight. We'll kick it with Kenny. The former Lobo great will be with us. Kenny Thomas next. Opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Brought to you by Capital Ford on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
I mean, it must be a big day. Kenny Thomas strolls in with his bodyguard. Kenny's got a collared shirt on. He's wearing pants. And This must be a big, important day.
Yeah, today.
What's
man,
up, Kenny Thomas?
Man, how you guys doing? What's up, JJ, my guy?
What's up?
Do you see him? He smells nice. Like he smells like a department store cologne.
I smell bad or something?
No, you smell pretty today.
Oh, man, very pretty.
You smell pretty today.
Man, I have a lot going on today.
Obviously.
Today, the building is opening up. The CEO of UNM Hospital, been talking to her and her staff, and we have a meeting next week about trying to do some stuff. So I'm doing the show, and I'm rolling straight over to UNM Hospital. They're doing a red ribbon cutting. And then I told you on Tuesday, I am going up to Santa Fe. I have 2 appearances at 2 Albertsons, one starting at 1:30.
You wear a collared shirt that day?
Yeah. I'm staying like this all day.
You just wear that all.
Yeah, I'm staying like this all day.
It's a nice one.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, all right. It's and then JJ, they walk in. They just went to Barralas. They ever bring you like a plate of food? They ever bring they just tell you about?
Hey, I got some tortillas in the car.
No,
yo.
I'm good, man. I'm not hungry. I don't need
see. And then we say yes, and me and JC send up here asking him what he wants.
Like that wine, that, oh yeah, I'm bringing Audra some wine, and he told me that too. She's thirsty.
Hey, let me tell you something. I'm gonna bring my computer next time I come in here, and I have the New Mexico. I have your bowl football on my computer.
Right.
I might even send you a picture. My bad.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm mad because I'm not watching the U.S. Open right now myself.
All right.
Some of us gotta work.
That's what I'm doing. This is work. Some of us, that's work for us.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the beauty of it. All right.
It's work for me too.
Kenny Thomas, the former Lobo great, 11 years the NBA. Does the series end tonight? Is it a sweep? Boston Celtics.
Yes, it's a wrap.
What happened?
It's a wrap.
What happened?
I've been saying, put it like this. I'm in a group text with Clayton Shields, Royce Only, and another college friend of ours. So,
legend.
my other boys that are like legends that have done some crazy stuff with me, but here at UNM. Obviously, Clayton Shields is in Dallas. Royce is in Colorado because he's coaching a high school team. Last year was his first year. So Clayton's obviously going for the Mavericks, right? The Mavericks, I've been telling them the Mavericks have to score. If the Mavericks can't score, there is no game. It's obvious that's what happened.
They haven't scored 100 points yet.
Yeah, the role players have not showed up like they should have. Playing in on that type of stage and that type of moment is big. I've never gotten to that moment. I'm only assuming, right? And the reason I'm saying that is because Boston, they've been there. And now Boston has had at least 1 or 2 opportunities to get a title in the last 3 to 5 years, especially with Tatum and Brown and that core of what they have, even without Porzingis. I think I said his name right.
That was close.
He did not play. I don't like him. He's weak. You making a crap load of money. I told you guys he was not going to play in Game 3, but yeah. But Boston, man, they're loaded. Drew Holiday, playing some great ball, man.
He's Kenny Thomas. He's in the studio. We're kicking.
I like how you laughing at me, man. Porzingis.
I'm laughing with you.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Hey, he's got 1 game at least in the finals.
A really good one, too.
Very good one.
That's terrible. And he ended up on a championship team, and he's been on 4 different teams before he got to Boston, and he makes a crap load of money.
He gets a boat of money.
If you can't tell, I'm jealous.
He doesn't have his own wine.
Or he's not me.
And he's not you. He's not even wearing a collared shirt.
He's way more wealthy.
Kenny, you've talked about it a lot, when you got to the league and the different things you had to do, the different focus you had to have in the offseason. Do you think that's something that Luka Doncic is going to really have to hone in on, and that's in terms of changing potentially his body or just his ability to be able to make it this deep?
That's a great question, because you can kind of tell that he's going to have to change and do some different things to actually be able to sustain the amount of minutes and the amount of productivity that he's giving, especially on the on the offensive end. He doesn't play defense. On the offensive end, he's only 25. He's gonna, he doesn't have a choice, because you can kind of tell he's wearing down a little bit, and being able to sustain that and do what he does for 82 games in the season, and then you get all the way to the finals. That's an unbelievable amount of games, right? And you can kind of tell, even with Kyrie, even though he had a great game, they're just not there. The will and the power is not there. And beating Boston is hard in its own right because Boston has so many weapons, man.
Are we, and I say we, look, you look at the TV, it's Luka. It's all about Luka. Is he getting too much criticism? And I ask you in this vein, okay? He got him there. It was him and Kyrie.
Yeah.
Kyrie hasn't played well this year.
Mm-hmm.
Luka is 25 years old. He's hurt. Could it just be Boston's better?
Boston's better.
Like JJ said earlier, you put Luka and Kyrie and give them Drew Holiday and Derek White, and they're winning this series. It's that, like, Boston might be better. I think a big perception of it is he's a whiner, dude. And he's got to stop complaining to the refs.
Well, I totally agree with you. Put it like this. During the course of the season, when you're the man and you're getting those calls, you're expecting those to a certain extent in the postseason. And the postseason is a totally different game. And you can tell Luka has not been there
he
the way
cries
that
all
Boston's
season
been there.
too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the guys that are those guys on the team are going to get calls. He is one of those guys that is always voicing his opinion. Look at him. He always has something to say to the people in the stands, only when he's knocking down shots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
they're talking to him when he's not.
But
you know that.
It's a mental component that comes with it, right? Are you going to get caught up in the noise, or are you going to go out and play? But back to what JJ said, I think it comes down to his body now. There's going to have to be a change, and I don't know what that's going to be.
All right, so JJ, you said something earlier, and I think is right. Some people just are never going to look yoked, right? They're not all going to look like Jaylen Brown or a dude on, as you said, on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't want to assume I know what his regimen is. I mean, is he, going home and eating pizza and ice cream and drinking? I don't know.
Yeah.
People are telling me that. There's been dudes who haven't, like Jokic, right?
Yeah, Nikola Jokic is a great example of that.
Yeah.
The minutes he's played, like Luka Doncic, they're not losing the series because he's not in shape.
That's fair.
He's beat up to this point, and he's putting up those numbers. I think it's more of, I think any athlete has to go that extra step at that level, but it's got to be the mental game. It's the complaining and not getting back on defense stuff.
Put it like this. I mean, I'm not comparing the two, obviously. The late Kobe Bryant is the most amazing person in the world as far as like basketball and off the court, right? When Kobe came in, he was kind of like Luka, right? He was skinny, didn't really know what was going on. And then next thing you know, here's Kobe putting up unbelievable numbers because the change and the dynamic of where he's trying to go. That's that like 1% of like people like a Kobe Bryant or like a Luka or like a Jaden Brown. Those guys are just wired differently to a certain extent.
Yep.
And then you just got to realize, like, we can sit up here and talk about Luka and what he did do, but Dallas just does not have a great support when it comes to the offensive
But
side.
yet we all thought they did going through the West, right? We all watched him go through the West. Well, look at him. Look, Luka played 70 regular season games. He's played 20 postseason games. Dude's got 90 games plus the preseason in him. He's beat up and he's hurt. He's got to be better for them to win a championship. To me, I think he's getting hit on a lot of this stuff, and some of it he deserves, and the whining's got to stop. But, JJ, what you said to me earlier is just ringing in my ears. Dude, give him Drew Holiday and Derek White, and we're having a different conversation.
We absolutely are. I think this right now is Boston just showing everyone there's a reason they won 64 games. There's a reason they were the odds-on favorite to win the NBA Finals since the start of the season. They're just deeper. And one thing, if you're Dallas, you do want to get better, but you can't go over the top because Boston's depth right now is just different than anyone has.
See, Dallas needs a third person that's not necessarily a person that needs the ball on a consistent basis.
And it was P.J. Washington early in the playoffs.
Yes. And then, but he's young. I was just about to bring him up, but he's young. He's not there yet, but he's probably a couple years away. And then being able to play with Kyrie and Luka, there's times to where you get caught standing watching because there's not a lot of flow to the offense because the other two guys are going one-on-one. Obviously, you're trying to go and pick and rolls and get the mismatches, right, to where you have a big man guarding a Kyrie or a Luka. That's what Dallas is trying to do, but there's no movement, there's no motion. And then what do? You pack in the paint. So
All right, when we come back, I want to get into Kyrie a little bit. At some point, maybe we should talk about the team that's going to win this thing, the Celtics. And I want to get into it, Kenny, because if they win tonight, they will have played 2 games over the minimum. And I don't believe they'll be considered one of the best teams ever, which is fair. No. But will this be considered one of the best postseason runs ever? And I want to get your thoughts on that. When we come back, we're kicking it with Kenny. The former Lobo great Kenny Thomas is with us, 11 years in the NBA, and freshly fed at Barrella's Coffee House for breakfast on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
The opening drop.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife, and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
and no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Tonight, or they're going to win. Whatever. I think. I mean, we come back.
Oh yeah.
Celtics are the best team all postseason. We talked about this, and I went on a rant yesterday. You know, we didn't really talk about the Mavericks because we talked about the Nuggets and the Lakers were sexy, and Ant Edwards, and we talked about everybody, but the Mavericks kept winning. And we didn't really talk about the Celtics, even though, as JJ's pointed out many times, they're the best team in the NBA. They've been the best team in the NBA. They were put together, but it wasn't exciting watching them go 5-5-4, and if they win tonight, 4. If they win tonight, they'll play 2 games over the minimum. They'll have lost the second game of the first series, second game of the second series. They would have won 11 in a row and win a championship, have not lost on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be one of the best postseason runs ever, or is it not going to be?
No.
Well, they beat Miami without Jimmy Butler.
No.
Donovan Mitchell was hurt. Halliburton, why not?
It's not, because you got to think about Paul Pierce and KG and all those guys that, and even, I mean, Shaq came later, but Ray Allen, like, it was a moment there when I was playing, was when all this was happening, to where those guys put Boston in a totally different realm, right? And then if you want to even go deeper than that, Danny Ainge and Robert Parrish and all those guys, that's a totally different dynamic in a different era. But I feel like this squad that Boston has right now, if they would have won one already, on top of this one that they're probably going to win, if they don't win tonight, I mean, Friday in Dallas, they will win Game 5 in Boston, and it's a wrap. I feel like Boston has to at least get another 1 or 2 within the next couple of years with this squad to actually be considered.
Let me give you this. The 2016-17 Warriors went 16.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know how you won 15. I guess the first series you only had to win 3. The 2000-2001 Lakers were 15-1, and the 82-83 76ers were 12. Okay, so they lost 1 game. So 3 teams have won the championship, only losing once.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that have only lost 2. So they'll be, if they go 15-2, they'll match the. Well, that's where the Celtics are now. They'll match the 88-89 Spurs, the 90-91 Bulls, and the 88-89 Pistons, and the Lakers of 81-82. I'm not telling you they're as good as those teams. I'm saying, dude, just as far as how impressive they've been, at some point they got to get some respect.
No, I feel like the respect is there because Boston is expected to win. That's honestly what I feel like. Me sitting up here talking about Dallas, I love Mark Cuban, right? Like I appreciate that guy because of what he's doing and what he does for his players when they're done. It doesn't matter if you're this big name person or whatever. He's giving his players another opportunity. I respect the crap out of that. But sometimes the underdog, right? Like seeing Dallas like push it to 6 or 7, that's actually giving Boston a little bit more of a harder time, but Boston coming out and sweeping them in 4 games, that right there is giving them their credit already because, come on, man. You look on paper, obviously Boston is a better team, regardless.
And people are going to say who they beat. They have the path of least resistance of any of these teams, and they understand that. And he's Kenny Thomas.
I totally agree.
And he's with us on the Sports Channel.
One thing that stands out about Boston and what they've done too is their willingness to stay the course. And anytime a team comes up short with talent, it's immediately about breaking it up. These guys can't play together. I know when Jaylen Brown was about to get his contract extension, there's a lot of talk of, Brown and Tatum can't coexist. Well, Boston stayed the course. They did the same thing with Joe Mazzulla. The turmoil last year, Ime Udoka loses his job.
Yeah.
Mazzulla comes in. They stick with him another year. What does that say about what we don't see in sports, but just patience and building something?
I don't think the NBA has patience anymore like it used to back in the day, especially when it comes to coaches. Coaches are in and out. Darvin Ham gone in and out, right? Like the Boston coach, they were winning. Why?
Well, but
he
what? Was having an inappropriate affair with it.
Yeah. But that's a whole different dynamic, which is a huge HR.
Yeah.
But I was gonna go to Milwaukee. Same thing. Yeah. They got rid of Budenhauser, just won a championship.
And then Adrian Griffin.
Exactly, and they were winning. And then you bring in Doc Rivers. Like, there's no loyalty when it comes to these coaches and that's in situations. So it's a whole different dynamic from the mindset of how the game is being approached right now. And if you think about it, I just want to add this part. There's teams that have three superstars on certain teams, and it's not working. But the way that Boston has brought certain pieces together, Boston doesn't care who scores. That's the nice thing about them.
That's why they're going to be champions.
Basically.
All right. You talked about coaching, and were you surprised? Dan Hurley said, I don't need your $70 million. We're good, and walked away and stayed in college, didn't take the Lakers job.
Remember, I've always said I like the fact that he's creating a dynasty right now with UConn. So why would you leave? Like, that market, I think you brought up his wife's from there. She loves it there. Like, that market is keyed on him because the way he's changing it. Why would you leave? I just feel like there's way more money outside of his salary to where he can be compensated in that market.
I firmly believe, and JJ, I don't know where you are on this, the Knicks and Celtics jobs will open. Now, I don't know that they'll open soon. They're number 1 and 2 seeds in the East, right? And Joe Mazzulla and Tom Thibodeau seem to be pretty safe there. But within 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years, the Knicks or Celtics, or maybe even the 76ers, open up. Does he take one of those jobs? And I think he does. And they come in, and it's amazing that we're saying low ball offer, 6 years, 7. I mean, it's JC Lopez money, right? Only he could walk away from $70 million. But they're going to come in and say, you know what, here's 6 years at $100 million.
Yeah.
And he's.
See, man, I if opportunities like that presents themselves, and especially he's still on the East Coast, you got to entertain it. But me, man, I had 10 coaches in 11 years when I played. I had one in Houston. You know what I'm saying? I had one in Houston.
You're a coach killer too?
I guess so, right? And then I had like 5 in Philly, and like another 4 in Sac or 5. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I've been through the ringers when it came to the last like 3 years of my career. But me, I say stay where you are because the foundation's already there. There's no guarantee that you're getting year 3, year 4, or even year 2 when it comes to the NBA right now. I wouldn't.
Okay. I'm going to ask you about this, and we're going to talk about this later. Caitlin Clark, the whole thing, and they won yesterday. Now she's kind of gotten brought into this race thing. I
saw that.
And Dejanay Carrington said, "Dog, how can you?" She says, "I just want to focus on basketball."
Yeah.
Dejanay Carrington of the Sky said, "Dog, how can one not be bothered by their name being used to justify racism, bigotry, misogyny, xenophobia, homophobia, and their intersectionalities of them all is nuts. We all see the bleep. We all have a platform. We all have a voice, and they all hold weight. Silence is luxury." And she said, "Don't use my name to push these agendas." I don't know what look. We've had superstar athletes. Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan never really jumped into the social, right?
Yeah.
LeBron James and others have.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that it's a responsibility. I don't know that it's not. I've never been a pro athlete with a platform like that. This is sensitive. She's being dragged into it. She is a white woman in let's be honest, right? It's a black woman's sport if you look through the game, right?
Yeah.
The NBA is a black man dominated game, and race is playing a huge part. I don't even want to say how should she handle it. I think she's handling things relatively well. How do you think she is handling it?
Well, I think I totally agree with you. The way that she's handling herself, I feel like she's another Steph Curry. I keep saying that because they handle themselves the right way. She's not going to social media. She's not putting things out there that she probably might be angry about because she is being targeted to a certain extent. But that comes with the territory, especially when you're coming in and you're kind of given certain opportunities that everybody else that's already in the WNBA would actually want. And then me and you kind of spoke about this off air a week or two ago with the whole Clark situation as far as her being targeted. It is, and it's happening. Everything's always going to be misconstrued or analyzed or amplified.
Yeah.
And everything's always going to be over-exaggerated, especially now with the movement, with the Black Lives Matter that just happened. And then there's all kinds of other social issues that are happening right now in our world. And I think as far as being a minority, I think we just want to be heard. But this isn't the right situation to where that is supposed to happen, right? Because now it's on the court and you guys are just being competitive. Just be competitive and leave it on the court. It doesn't have to flip and become this whole issue of racism.
Yeah, and race, unfortunately, does come into everything. She is a minority in that league.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
And
she is a beast.
And she's a baller, dude.
Yeah.
But does she have, I guess, what is it people want her to say?
Everybody's going to, that's what I was trying to say. Everybody's going to have their opinion of how she should handle herself and what she should say. As long as she's comfortable in her skin.
And she seems to be.
And she should be. It's only going to get worse. And now once she starts getting more acclimated to how the WNBA is being played, oh my goodness. That's why I compare her to Steph Curry. I just do, because she's changing the dynamic of women's basketball, especially being able to shoot as far as Steph Curry does to a certain extent. And especially when she gets stronger, man.
Well, and gets rested and gets, yeah. All right, big
and
meetings.
She's on a crappy team.
Yeah, she's who won last night? She only scored 7. All right, you got some red chili right there. On your,
oh, Jesus, he's scared.
He's got big.
We're on the air. You almost man. I was about to cuss you out.
All right, go to your big meetings.
My big eyes got big. You guys
he's got
have
his
no
college
clue.
shirt on. He's got big meetings. Of everything that's the one that got him. You got some red chili. You from your huevos.
And what's so crazy, I only had red chili today, and I usually do Christmas.
I know, I saw it.
Yeah. Oh, God. Man, that's the brown, man, and my lips are red. Stop checking me out, Jeff.
I'm staring at you. All right, he's Kenny Thomas. Will be back with us on Tuesday. We might have a parade on Tuesday for all we know. He's doing big things in the community, big business. It's always good to see you. We'll catch up.
Appreciate you guys.
Happy Father's Day week.
Oh, same to you, bro. Appreciate
Father's
that.
Day
Happy
weekend.
Father's Day, JJ.
Happy Father's Day.
All right, happy Father's Day,
JC, and everybody
drive
else.
on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Channel.
The Jim Rome Show. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Xander Schauffele's in trouble. Patrick Cantlay is still leading the U.S. Open, and it is rough out there. Xander's -3 on the day and -3 overall. 2 strokes behind Cantlay at -5, but Xander's in the trees. Rory McIlroy is 1 over on the day in second place at -4, along with Ludwig Åberg, who will go out this afternoon. The group at -3 is Matthew Pavon, Bryson DeChambeau, Xander Schauffele, and Thomas Dietrich, as they're deep in the pine straw for Xander's second shot. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Big weekend coming up. Big Father's Day plans? What do you got? Or don't you know?
To be determined.
That's fair.
Trying to find a way to swing a club a little bit. No, it's not going to be on a course probably Sunday because it's going to be stacked.
You
But
think it will be? I got to figure out. So most of the dudes in my Sunday group, I think are bailing. Like, I'd love to play because, well, Addie's working. Dude, my kid's got 2 jobs, maybe 3. She's like, well, yeah, Dad. I mean, I get off at 6. I'm like, all right. Well, I guess that's the way it's going to be from now on. Right?
yes, yes.
Yeah, no, I'm getting used to it. So she's got, like, she got a brand new one that started yesterday, and then she'll work that one tomorrow, and then she's got her other job.
Jeez, I'm jealous.
Dude, my kid's making work. Yeah, she's gonna work 4 days, and this other place that she's got a job. They haven't opened up yet, but yeah, she's. I love the fact that she's like, Dad, I'm gonna put all this money away, and that way I'll have money to spend when I go to college, and I'm like, damn, it's beautiful. But the golf course, I was just going to check my tee time. All right, 505-246-0610. What do you think about Caitlin Clark? What do you think her responsibility is when it comes? I mean, she's been thrust into the race game.
I think she's handled it well. This one is tough because
really
she hasn't done anything. But when people are using your name, I think what she had to do was probably what, like, an agent or someone close to her said, is just, you just have to make this statement.
And her statement was,
keep my name out your mouth.
Yeah, this was her statement. She was asked about it, and she said, it's disappointing. I think everyone in our world deserves the same amount of respect. The women around our league deserve the same amount of respect. People should not be using my name to push those agendas. It's disappointing. It's not acceptable. That was her quote. She's been called out. Like, what? I guess, what is it you want her to say? Is she popular because she's a white girl?
No, she's popular because she's good.
But
there's
the
a lot
argument
of,
is there's other good players who are probably
there is,
better.
and that's why she scored 7 points in the WNBA game last night.
Yep.
And she's not immediately going into that league and blowing people away. She's on a path like a lot of other players, but no one in this league has ever been viewed like her. A rookie going through growing pains.
So
crazy.
And Kenny, like Kenny said, she can ball. She is the leading scorer in the history of college basketball, and her teams went to 2 straight NCAA. They didn't win, but she went to 2 straight NCAA finals. By every account, she's the reason they now have charter airplanes, right?
She's not the reason.
A reason? I mean, why did it happen now?
It's something they were working on.
Okay. Would it have happened now? I don't know.
Like if she was playing in a Big 3 right now, I still think they would have found a way to have charters for their teams.
I guess this is where it gets sensitive. I don't know what is it that she's supposed to say. When Dejanay Carrington says, "Dog, how can one not be bothered by their name being used?" And again, this is where I want to know, how is her name being used to justify racism, bigotry, misogyny, xenophobia, homophobia, and the intersectionalities of the laws? That's putting a hell of a lot of weight on Caitlin Clark. What Dejanay Carrington said basically is, your name, you, are being used to justify racism, bigotry, misogyny, xenophobia, homophobia. Tell me what she did.
That's a bit much in my opinion, because she's not the one doing it. No, she's not the one making these statements. Other people are using her in these arguments. And I think what we're seeing is the WNBA wasn't prepared for this. 100%. Even though they, not all, I know that's been said, 36, 40, or whatever they said, not all of her games are on national TV. They moved them so they're like on these streaming platforms and they're available, so they're trying to get in front of that. And I just, I look at it from the other players, like, I get it. You don't want to just give a rookie everything because you're still a competitor.
Totally fair.
But you also have to embrace that because Caitlin Clark is in your league, you are now playing on stages, like you're getting crowds that you're not getting before. You're getting eyes to the game.
It bothers you.
So,
why weren't we getting it before?
Yeah, I think at some point, and it's easy to say, because I'm not, say, Asia Wilson, who's an MVP player, won championships, been in the league for years, or Super, Diana Taurasi, like these really good players that built the foundation. But guess what? That foundation wasn't getting the spotlight it is now. So you have to embrace that. That's what Caitlin Clark is doing. She's going to earn her way on the court. And how do you take all this notoriety and publicity and at least get a little more interest in your game? Because I get it. People are not just going to watch a Caitlin Clark game and all of a sudden watch a bunch of other games. But if you're in the conscience a little bit more, if it starts with Caitlin Clark and then at least you can go from, here's 1 or 2 more highlights, like that's a step, because that's the way people consume things too. Not everyone is watching every single game, but you're turning on SportsCenter, you're looking at social media highlights, and chipping away in those areas is what Caitlin Clark is allowing you to do.
Go watch a Sparks Mystics game. How many people are there? Go watch a Fever versus anybody game. How many are there?
Yeah, and that's what they have to turn around. They can't just sit there and use that as,
right,
well, y'all need to shut up. It's Caitlin Clark versus everything, and say, all right, we have Caitlin Clark. How do you build a little bit on all those other things now?
Howard, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Howard.
Good morning, gentlemen. I hope you guys all have a great Father's Day. Shout out to Jeff, you, JJ, Jess, Grady, the Crusher. Hope you guys all have a great Father's Day.
You too,
and
Howard.
I think Rudy C has a birthday this weekend, doesn't he?
Maybe.
I think he does. I think he might be hitting the big 5-0 or something like that anyway.
I think he's a little north of that.
It's a shame. It's a shame that Caitlin Clark is bringing so much for the face of the WNBA, and it's amid so much turmoil, man. I tell you, it's sad, because if it would have been embraced, this thing could be exploding, and more teams, more teams could be benefiting from this. More players could be benefiting from this. But the human mind and personalities are all different, and some people are resentful, some people are supportive, but it's a shame that a generational player like herself came along at this place in time, and they're not being embraced. But I think LeBron entered as an 18-year-old similarly, and he did okay in the beginning of his career. Now I've always been a big LeBron fan, but I'm disappointed into how much of a complainer he is. But it's just the way people are. People in sports, everybody's a little different. But I hope everybody has a great Father's Day.
You too, Howard. Appreciate the call. All right, 505-246-0610. I wonder, you just said something that triggered it in my mind. I wonder if it's just turning people off. If where this thing is going, is there going to be a faction of people just, dude, I don't want to watch all that turmoil. I was good without it. I'm good without it again. Yeah, she's interesting to me, but man, I'm good, man, because it's all about, and it feels, I don't want to say it's generated drama, but there's a lot of it that's generated.
You need a little drama in sport. Okay. You do.
That part I agree with.
It can't all be X's and O's. As much as people scream they want it, that's not what they consume.
Wrap it up when we come back. Still take your phone calls. 505-246-0610. Let's get you ready for the big weekend that's coming up. We didn't even talk about the hockey. Oh, how about those Florida Panthers? Damn, they did up in Edmonton.
Kind of like the Boston Celtics. They're just that much better.
I think that's right. The International Protective Service continues to do amazing things like the Celtics, like the Panthers. They heard you when you asked for their help to protect homes and businesses in Santa Fe. And they're getting a lot of calls for service up there. If you live up in Santa Fe, you're concerned about the rest of your property, call IPS. I'll give you the number here in a moment. In Albuquerque, police response is still hours, especially for home break-ins, business break-ins. In most cases, IPS is there within 7 minutes or less. They install alarms, they install camera systems, they monitor those cameras 24/7, raise the level of security around your home or business. I know you've noticed them around town at retail stores, Targets, Walmarts. They're making a huge difference, and they can help you. Your home is supposed to be a place of security, and if someone breaks in, it's devastating, and you don't know when it's going to happen. So let IPS keep eyes on your home or business around the clock. Here's the number, 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe safer and better places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Proview Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up. Okay. Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
U.S. Open's going on. They're playing the fifth hole, which is their 16th or fifth, whatever, backside. McIlroy, Scheffler, and Schauffele. They all hit the ball on the green on their approach on 5. It rolled off left down the hill into this junk, sandy, wispy, wiry. Scheffler chipped it up onto the green, rolled back to his feet, and passed. So Schauffele played it like a sand shot. Got it up on the green, rolled all the way back. Schauffele hit it again, got it up. Scheffler hit it again, hit it through. He's on the other side. Chip it back up. Rory chipped it all the way through. They're still not on the green. It's like...
So this is where you look and say, all right, Rory Cantlay shot 5 under yesterday.
Yeah.
Got this dude, Taylor Pendrith, who's 4 under through 10.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, you can score on the course.
Yeah.
Just stop complaining. But then there's moments like that where it's...
Pendrith hasn't
what
played
do
this hole
you
yet.
do? How are you supposed to get the ball into the hole?
I mean, seriously, this one is stupid. It's like a hill, and that slopes off every side, and it's concrete. I mean, it's not.
You just got to dunk it.
I mean, Rory may make par. Schauffele's hoping for a bogey. I mean, Rory's got. There's no way. It's just.
And everyone thought, this shoe-in Schauffele. He's got it.
Cantlay's -5. He'll play later today, 11:20. Rory may give one back. He's at -4. DeChambeau is already on the course. He's 1 under. Through 13. Bryson is, but he's playing. Thomas Dietrich's -3 today. But man, it's something else. It's what everything the U.S. Open wanted. All right, here's what you want to know as you go through your day. Game 4 NBA Final tonight in Dallas. The Mavericks need to win to stay alive. Celtics looking for the sweep. They'll go at 6:30 tonight. Meanwhile, last night in the Stanley Cup Final, the Panthers jumped up to a 4-1 lead and beat the Oilers by a score of 4-3. That is now 3-0. They will play Game 5 up in Canada, and the Panthers are on their way to hoisting their first ever Stanley Cup. I watched almost all that last night. The second period performance by the Florida Panthers was so good. JJ, it's like the Celtics. Sometimes you just look at one team and you're like, well, they're just better.
Yes, and that's why I like the Panthers coming in. Goaltending, the depth. Like Connor McDavid and Draisaitl are fantastic, but the goaltending's not as good for Edmonton. And you have a game where you finally get 3 past, and you can't win at home.
Yeah, they finally were able to
turn out the lights. Party's over.
All right, you get football tomorrow. If you are looking for something to do for Dad on Saturday night, the Gladiators with Jordan Bird, the former Manzano star, played at San Diego State. He is signed. He was with us yesterday. Dads get free admission to the game tomorrow against the Las Vegas Nighthawks. Tailgate starts at 3. Kickoff is at 6 out at the Rio Rancho Event Center. It's all at DukesCityGladiators.com. Go out and enjoy that. $1 hot dogs, $4 cocktails, $3 slushies. Just kid slushies. But I'm assuming you can have a slushie if you want. But good opportunity to get out to the Rio Rancho Event Center and enjoy what they do out there. It's a good time. Ice Hopes are home. The Chihuahuas are in town. And so that's what you got going on this weekend. All right, so far, Shoffley's in with a double bogey, and Scheffler is in with a double bogey on that. Rory's got a long par putt. So they're going to walk away, most likely, this threesome, the 3 of the best in the world, collectively +5 on the 5th. That's insanity. How about Nick Neeson? I asked him, what would your average 15 handicap golf? I said, what, 120? He says north of that. And he's probably right. Just trying to keep the ball in play and then like 5 putts. Rory for par, he saved it. How about that? That's how you win golf tournaments. So Rory stays at -4. He's got 3 holes to go. I bet they just want to get out the game. Right? After a day, you ever been on? I mean, I have. I'm done. This isn't even that fun anymore. All right, also what people will be talking about, Trevor Lawrence signed an extension with the Jaguars to make him the highest paid player in the history of the National Football League. Trevor Lawrence, who led the league in giveaways last year, who went 0-5 down the stretch. Yeah, that guy. He's really good, don't get me wrong. But it is amazing that I look at the list of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, none of them won a Super Bowl. Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's been there. Jared Goff, been there. Justin Herbert, never been there. Lamar Jackson, never been there. Those are 5 highest paid players and quarterbacks in the history of the National Football League. And like JJ said, man, do you think you're going to win with him? Do you think you win an AFC championship? Do you think you go to the Super Bowl with him? I think you do. But it's so hard to explain all the turnovers and going 0-5 down the stretch. That's the reality of where you are. He's averaging $55 million a year. Sign the piece of paper, and here's $142 million. That's your signing.
I think, though, if you look at Jacksonville overall moving forward, they got a quality running back for next year, Travis Etienne. I think Gabe Davis is a good addition along with Brian Thomas. Their first-round wide receiver at LSU. Christian Kirk. Evan Ingram has been fantastic. So the weapons are there. You're locked in with Lawrence. Stud pass rusher on the other side. So you check the boxes of what's needed, and now go get it done.
You got a really good tight end. They don't have a stud wide receiver. I think Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis are good. They're not that elite level. Do you need that? I mean, everybody else seems.
Well, that's where you're counting on Trevor Lawrence, or paying you as the elevator guy. You have Ingram just on a game-to-game basis, the guy that can be a top 5 tight end, and Evan Ingram. Etienne, good running back. Thomas has a ridiculously high ceiling, rookie wide receiver. They have the pieces.
Who's your favorite? I mean, it's Houston, right?
I still think I'm giving the edge to Houston.
That's an all of a sudden that became a really interesting. Good. Tennessee and Indiana. Thanks to Kenny Thomas, Nick Carparelli, Nick Nee. They were all with us today. You can listen to that stuff wherever you get podcasts. Go to sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 men ons here at 4. Then you get the ice from the Chihuahuas. Adrian, great job today. Looks good. JJ, happy Father's Day. Big weekend for you?
A huge weekend. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Enjoy it. Happy Father's Day to all the daddies. Have a great, safe weekend, boys and girls. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you on Monday.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.